Hi everyone, how to get potential clients through events. And today we are doing it from the MIPIM in Cannes, in France. Today with me we have Matteo Ferrari from Forma Studio.
Hey guys.
We have Fabio Palvelli. Fabio is doing a lot of network events in Saudi Arabia. Matteo is here as well, doing networking for himself, and me just trying to stay up to date with the industry, see if all the networking strategies I'm helping others with are still working. It looks like it is still working. Yeah, today we'll share with you a couple of things you should do when networking and a couple of things you should not. For move, please, Matteo, would like to speak anything about today's meeting?
Yeah, so it's almost like doing a marathon, but you never stop. You constantly move. In general, I think a lot goes into the mindset. You really have to be open conversation with anyone, and everyone here is a stranger. You always have to approach people or be open to get a conversation with someone. And the more you talk, the easier it gets. So yesterday was very stressed. Today it's much easier. The flow of the conversation is usually very straightforward. I was not expecting this. I was expecting things a little bit more stirred, like people very rigid in a way, but everyone is extremely open. So that's very interesting. And feedback is fantastic as well.
Great. Thank you. Fabio, have been to an event South Germany, and you have been to an event in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Share an experience about what is your impression about being in an event and networking?
Yeah, to me, I always say, the key, it's always to share the message. And so what is the best way to share a message when you're the message is to go to an event, because then people can really understand who you are, what you do, what your values are, what kind of person you are. And this is the best way to put yourself in front of people and for people to get to know a little bit your brand, not only the brand of your company, but the brand of who you are as a person, because brand is reputation, right? And so to me, events are the number one way to generate leads and to start conversations. And as you said, it's not a way to get clients, but it's a way to get the conversation started. And I want to tell you a little anecdote that I wanted to share with you, is that once I went to an event and I met a potential lead, and this lead kept saying to me, yeah, well, we don't really know. We don't have any interest right now. And I was like, listen, you want me to show you the work that we do. Trust me, the work that we do is going to be very helpful to you. And the guy was very dismissive. And then 4 or 5 months later, I met him at another event, and at the event, the guy was like, it's you. And so he recognized me, right? Because I had made an impression. And I was like, yeah, I'm still trying to work with you guys. And the guy was like, maybe one day we will. And now tomorrow we have a meeting with the guy, because basically we found another person that we connected with who talked to this person and said, yeah, of course I know those guys. I met the guy that is in charge of sales. So, this is a very funny thing, because sometimes you don't get something straight away from an event, but if you keep at it and if you keep showing up and if you keep showing yourself to people, then eventually people will remember who you are. And of course, if you are very well mannered and you're nice and you're kind and don't impose yourself too much and you're a delightful person to talk with and you can crack some jokes, you're going to leave a good impression with those people, and those people are going to remember you, right? And to me, this is something that I double down on every single time that I go to events. I try to make an impression, and there are specific things that I say to people in order to make that impression, but maybe we can get into that a little bit later. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys.
Perfect. So what you said is a great example to showcase that it's not like hit and run. It's not like just one thing. I meet you, you have a project, give me the project, now I landed the client. Hey, amazing. It continues and events, it's not like a quick process in getting clients. You have 3 phases. You have what happens before the event, happens is through the event, what happens after the event. What happens before the event is as important as what you should do in the event and after the event. And basically, if you go to the event without preparation, you are going to be lost. But if you really prepare before that, you come here prepared. Now you are invited for conversations instead of you being trying to get more new conversations. So to say it quickly, we try to schedule more meetings, as many meetings as we can before the events. So we come here and we do the meetings first, and in between the meetings, we get new people. The way how we do it is something we will do a workshop about. I mean, how to reach out to those people in a gentle way so that they will say, yes, let's have a meeting. This is something we will do a workshop about soon. You and I don't know. Would you like to be there as well?
I can be here like a case study. I can be there like a case study. I'll tell you, yeah, this happened and pros and cons and things. So
Great. So we have also a case study that just to prove to you. I mean, a live case study. So that's what happened before. During the event, you need to stick to the schedule. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you get a lead, you do need to register the lead, which means you need to have some sort of system in the back end. You don't just like collect visit cards. You don't have like a really good system in the back end to register who is that guy, what I'm going to do next, what type of email he's getting from me now after we meet, and where are we going to meet again? What happens inside the meeting? Now we talked about like the event should be scheduled. Each schedule is a sales call. Okay, you don't like the word sales or him. It's a friendly call. Okay, introduction call. And inside this call, you do need to have a structure just to know, is there any sign for collaboration? Or this is just like a complete dead end relationship. If there is like any small sign that helps us to move forward into the relationship, yes, we can take it after the event. After the event, we do need to get more solid on the project and maybe picking off the first talk. That's all of I can say for now. We do have a workflow that has a start before the event, what happens until you get to the event, how you should speak, with whom, what type of questions you need to ask, and what signals you need to look for inside the conversation. Once you finish this, what system you should have in the back end, and what happens after the meet, after the event. All of this is going to be explained into a workshop. It's not going to be 3 days. It's going to be like short. It's going to be like 2 hours. If you're interested, reach out to Fabio or me or send you more details. That's it on my side. Now, Matteo, tell me about the experience, about the things you have done before and during the event. And I'm interested to know from you what previous thoughts you had in mind before even you decide to come to the event.
okay, so how detailed should I be? Not that detailed to keep an open door, I guess, right? Yeah, okay. So in general, I'll start with the idea I had of an event. So the idea I had of an event was stressful, expensive, because it's in general, it's an expense. You need to travel, you need to book a ticket, you need to buy the ticket for the event. And in general, you don't know what you get out of it. So the big question mark is, do I really need to go to an event to get clients? This is the eternal question. Do I need to do this action to get a client? Do I need to do that sort of thing to get this? It really depends. It's an investment in the end of the day. So before even thinking about signing up, I had this constant concern of, yeah, you know what? It's a big expense. Can I cover it? Why do I need to cover it if I can do these other things? But in the end of the day, it was a learning curve for me. So I wanted to sign up and, have a go to. Also, the surprising thing was that the amount of work I had to do before the event was probably even more than the one during the event. During the event, it's extremely tiring because you keep talking, you keep walking, you move just stand to stand. So it's physically draining. But what you do before, it's a huge amount of work. You have to prep, you have to get the system ready, you have to get the messages ready, you get to everything. Like there's a lot of things you have to do beforehand, and it feels overwhelming to a certain extent. But then when you get here, your life is a lot easier. You have a system, you stick to it, you follow it, you kind of, even the script you have, it gets easier along the way. So the preparation is probably the most important step, let's say. Then you get here, yes, it's training. And then what happens afterwards? I know what I have to do. Also, I do have the system. I register things. I have a very clear idea of my steps moving forward. So I don't know exactly what will happen, but I do know that I have a system to follow. I do have it like step by step, and it will be very easy to kind of almost go in autopilot in some sort of ways. Yeah, first impression, I think events are a fantastic way to not even only get leads, but to connect with people and get feedbacks on your work, get feedbacks on the industry, learn more about the industry. So it's definitely an amazing source, let's say.
You know, you see it very quickly. You meet a person here, you talk to them, he's a developer. It's a completely different language, way of how to speak when the next person is going to be an architect. Or the next person is an employee, not like the CEO. It's not like the director. It's not like the owner of the company. Like, you do need to tailor the questions and the way of how to get to the ask based on the position and who is you talking to. So that is really a big thing. I mean, usually, like, if we do a lot of sales talks, I'll say inside a group, but like having such an event, you see it live, you meet it, and that's really a great benefit of events. Fabio, tell us about your experience. Then we have another big topic: is paid events vs free events.
Yeah, so what you're saying is totally correct. It is a different type of language. And the problem is that many people never learn that type of language. And that's the reason why we've been thinking about doing this workshop where, you know, we can give you very quickly some very good core tips on how to center the conversation around the issues that your potential prospect might be facing. And also for you to use some type of closing language that helps people understanding that you are about business and that you're there to make deals. Because this is another thing. When you go to events like this, whether they're paid or free, the most important thing that you have to remember is that the goals these people set for themselves is to sell the inventory of buildings that they have available and that are they're displaying at these events. If you are not a buyer, then you need to go there with a solution that you can describe clearly so that they understand how they can use you to then get to their goal of selling buildings. Most important thing for you to understand is that this is not something that you do once and that's it. You know, you get the client and you're done. If you look at big companies, big names, you know, the first one that pops into my head, it's Red Vertex. They go to events like MIPIM every single year. They do not miss a single show because this is something that you have to do for a prolonged amount of time. You have to keep at it, right? You have to show up every single year. You have to talk to people and you have to make sure that you're in the middle of the conversation, because another thing that these events are really important for is to understand the trends of the market. And so, for instance, one of the things that we have learned over the past year and a half is that a lot of this inventory that is laying around, that it's not being sold, is being turned into short or mid-terms accommodations, right? And so the goals of the developers are shifting from, okay, we are now selling buildings to, okay, now we're renting property, right? And so you need to also tune your message to understand that this is something that, to make people understand that this is something that you also understand and that you can help them with. And so you see, these might sound like nuances to some people, but they're actually very important talking points that will give you then the right tools for you to go and represent yourself, represent your brand at these events.
Yeah, exactly. So the next topic I would like to hear your insights is paid events, yes, free events. I'm too much into paid events because you know everyone is coming here, they have already paid, which means they are already prepared, or they are also open to having more conversation or open to having more opportunities, explore more connections. Right? Free events, they are good as well. You do need to invest time, effort, also money to travel there and be there, accommodation, travel, all that. But they have also some side effects. I mean, the side effects for free bets, like you have all types of things. You see, you have the poor one, you have the rich one, and it will be really hard for you to qualify who is serious, who is not serious. On the other hand, I have this idea. Whenever there is a paid event, this is 100% a great place to having defined needs.
To be honest, I one thing that, for example, this event surprised me a lot with, it was the premium feeling. You kind of get the premium feeling on anything, from the security to the food, the drinks, the caters. Everything is really well organized and planned. You don't have queues anywhere. That's surprising. With the amount of people we have, it's really surprising. And I did went to a couple of free events in the past couple of years, and it was the exact opposite. It was very crowded, very difficult to get the attention of someone, because it's let's say here is noisy, it's loud, but on a free event it's like 10 times more. So I do see the value of a free event as well, but at the same time I kind of have this feeling that a paid event might be more beneficial. Like, you invest once, but at least you know that everyone there will be on the same boat. Everyone will be on a target. When you go on a free event, you can even have a private person that goes there and it's not even interested, because they're just to check in the place. Nothing against that, but it's a little bit of a difficult thing to understand who is interested, or might be a benefit for you or not. Paid event, I think.
Okay. And Fabio?
So I tend not to discriminate, simply because I've had very different into loads of events, and some paid events, they were really just not worth it, and then there were some free events which were incredibly worth it. My cue to anyone who's trying to get at least a foot in the door is start with what you can afford, because in the very beginning it might be difficult, to invest in. I think the MIPIM, what is the entrance fee? Is it 1,000 euros, something like this? The one that we went to in Germany was 800 euros. The one, for instance, that we went to in Saudi Arabia was free. It was gigantic. Different things to each one of these events. For instance, if you go to the one in the cityscape, doesn't have to be in Saudi Arabia. You can go. There are plenty happening in the Gulf, even Dubai. Is that you have to go with quite a few people, because the events are gigantic. If you go to events that are a little bit smaller and paid for, the advantage is that things are usually organized better, and they're cleaner and more structured. And so you can go by yourself, and you will know that you will get your brand in front of enough people. But to me, as far as I'm concerned, if you can afford to go to paid events, MIPIM is probably the best one, and the one that it's going to put you in front of most decision makers. If you do not have money, or if you have little money, there are events also like the D2 conference, for instance, or other ArchViz events, which might not put you in front of clients like some people might think a client is, but they will put you in front of the studio owners that might need your work as an outsourcing partner. Those are still clients. They're not the type of clients that you might find at an event like MIPIM, but they're still clients. And so, to me, you should start with what you can afford. If you have to go to an event and you barely have the amount of money to travel, then look for an event that it's free. You can start with a meetup, know that Anis is going to one in Berlin. This is a very good place to meet other people that do the same job as you, and at least get some information, because that's the other thing, again, people think that they go to these events to have a direct return of investment on the event, but in reality, all you're doing is to put your name out there so that people will recognize it. They will know that you exist, and eventually, when the time is right, the universe and the planets will align, and you'll get a conversation with a potential client, potential lead.
If anyone has any questions about the workshop we will do, or maybe how we will plan some events, right? Comments below, or reach out to Fabio, Matteo. We will do a workshop that is going to be around 2 hours, showing you the workflow step by step before you start the event. Preparation phase, what to do step by step, what happens inside the event, what you should do, and how to speak to people, how to introduce yourself, how to propose your work, and what happens after the event. That's basically going to be the workshop. If you're interested, reach out to one of us.
Feel free to reach out. Let's get the conversation going, and maybe we can help you somehow to get your foot in the door and to motivate you to go out there and put your brand in front of people, in front of potential clients.
So thank you very much, Fabio. Thank you, Matteo, for joining. See you all next
Cheers.
time.
Bye bye.